Every person listening to this video knows exactly what they should be doing. You know you should wait for your setup. You know you should use a stop loss. You know you shouldn't risk more than 1% of your account. You know you shouldn't revenge trade after a loss. The information is not the problem. The rules are simple. A child could memorize them. And yet, every single day, intelligent, rational, ambitious people sit down at their trading desks and systematically destroy their financial future by breaking every single one of those rules. Why? Why do we do things that we know will hurt us? Why do we sabotage our own success? The industry tells you the answer is discipline. But they treat discipline like it's a muscle you just need to flex harder. They tell you to just be more disciplined. Just stick to the plan. That advice is garbage. Telling a struggling trader to just be disciplined is like telling a drowning man to just swim harder. It ignores the mechanics of the failure. The reason you fail is not because you are weak. The reason you fail is because you are relying on willpower. And here is the harsh truth about biology. Willpower is a finite resource. It is a battery. When you wake up in the morning, your battery is at 100%. But every decision you make drains it. Choosing what to wear, dealing with traffic, resisting the urge to check your phone, solving a problem at work. Drain, drain, drain. By the time you sit down to trade, or by the time that critical setup appears at 2 p.m., your battery is at 20%. And that is when the market tests you. It shows you a candle moving fast. It triggers your FOMO, triggers your fear. And because your willpower battery is drained, you have no defense. You crumble. You take the bad trade. You move the stop loss. You don't need more willpower. You can't just try harder. That is a losing strategy. You need a system that doesn't require willpower to work. Unbreakable discipline is not about getting stronger at resisting temptation. It is about designing a trading life where temptation is irrelevant. In this video, we are going to dismantle the myth of the strong trader and replace it with the structured trader. We are going to move from making decisions, asking should I, to executing protocols, saying if this, then that. We are going to build a system that protects you from your own biology. Let's go deeper into this metaphor of the battery, because it explains 90% of your trading mistakes. Imagine your self-control is a battery pack. When you are in a trade, and price starts moving against you, your brain screams, move the stop loss. Don't take the loss. To resist that scream requires energy. You have to mentally fight the urge. That fight costs expensive biological fuel, glucose in the brain. If you have to fight that battle 10 times a day, you will lose eventually. The battery will run out. It is a mathematical certainty. This is why trying hard doesn't work. You are fighting a war of attrition against your own nervous system. Now contrast the battery with a dam. A hydroelectric dam holds back billions of gallons of water. The water is heavy. It is powerful. It is pushing against the concrete with immense force. But the dam doesn't get tired. The dam doesn't have to try hard to hold the water back. It doesn't wake up in the morning and pump itself up with a motivational speech. It holds the water back simply because of how it is built. It is structural strength, not active effort. Unbreakable discipline is a dam. It means building walls around your trading behavior that hold back your emotions passively, without you needing to expend energy. How do we build this dam? We start by eliminating the negotiation. The biggest leak in your dam is the moment you start negotiating with yourself. I know my rule is 1% risk. But this setup looks really good. Maybe I'll do 2% just this once. I know I'm supposed to stop after 2 losses. But I can see clearly where price is going. One more try. The moment you enter that negotiation, you have already lost. Because even if you win the argument this time, you have burned battery power to do it. You are weaker for the next trade. The dam does not negotiate with the water. The dam just says, stop. You must realize that your internal negotiator, that voice in your head making excuses, is not your friend. It is a parasite. It feeds on your dopamine. To build the dam, you must adopt a policy of zero tolerance for internal debate. When the voice says, just this once, the answer is not, well, let me think about it. The answer is silence. You have to stop treating your trading rules as guidelines and start treating them as laws of physics. Gravity doesn't negotiate with you. If you jump off a building, you fall. Gravity doesn't care if you had a bad day. It doesn't care if you promise to do better next time. Your trading rules must be gravity. If price hits stop loss, I exit. This is not a decision. This is gravity. It happens automatically. When you stop deciding and start obeying, you stop draining your battery. You stop feeling the stress of the choice because there is no choice. Freedom in trading does not come from having infinite choices. It comes from having no choice but the right one. To operationalize this, we need to understand the split personality of a trader. You are not one person. You are two. Person A is the general. This is you on the weekend, or you at 6 a.m. before the market opens. The general is calm. He is rational. He sees the big picture. He draws the map. He defines the strategy. He says, we will attack here. We will retreat there. Person B is the soldier. This is you at 10:30 a.m. when the market is moving fast. The soldier is in the trenches. Bullets, candles, are flying over his head. There is smoke and noise. He is pumped full of adrenaline. He is scared. He is greedy. He is reactive. Here is the fundamental rule of war that builds unbreakable discipline. The soldier is never allowed to make strategic decisions. The soldier's only job is to execute the orders given by the general. The soldier does not get to look at the map and say, you know what, General? I think we should attack the other hill instead. I have a good feeling about it. If a soldier does that in the military, he is court-martialed. He endangers the entire platoon. Yet, in trading, we let the soldier run the show every single day. You, the general, make a plan. I will short at resistance. But then you, the soldier, see a green candle and think, oh, it looks strong. I'm gonna buy. You just let a panicked, adrenaline-fueled grunt override the orders of your highest tactical mind. Of course you lost money. Unbreakable discipline requires a strict chain of command. You must separate your planning time from your execution time. Planning time, the general. This happens when the market is closed or slow. You mark your levels. You write down your if/then scenarios. If price hits 1.0500, I sell. Stop at 1.0520. Target at 1.0450. The orders are written. The general leaves the room. Execution time, the soldier. Now the market opens. You, the soldier, sit down. Your hands are on the mouse. Your job is not to think. Your job is not to analyze. Your job is simply to wait for the condition the general defined. Price hits 1.0500. Do you ask, should I sell? No. The general said sell. You click sell. If you hesitate, you are insubordinate. If you move the stop, you are insubordinate. You have to cultivate a disdain for your own in-the-moment opinions. When you are in a trade, your opinion is worthless. You are compromised. You are drunk on dopamine. Trust the general. He was sober when he made the plan. The soldier is drunk on war. If you find yourself saying, but the market looks different now, recognize that voice. That is the soldier trying to mutiny. Shut him down. The general gave orders. We follow orders. This mental framing separates the emotional burden from the execution. The soldier doesn't have to worry if the plan is good. That's the general's problem. The soldier just has to pull the trigger. So we have the chain of command. But what if the soldier is weak? What if the urge to break the rules is too strong? We need shackles. We look to Greek mythology. The story of Odysseus and the Sirens. Odysseus had to sail his ship past the island of the Sirens. The Sirens sang a song so beautiful that any sailor who heard it would lose his mind, jump into the sea, and drown trying to reach them. Odysseus wanted to hear the song, but he knew he would die if he did. He didn't say, I'll just use my willpower. I'm a strong hero. I can resist. He knew that was a lie. In the heat of the moment, he would fail. So he made a Ulysses pact. He ordered his men to tie him tightly to the mast of the ship. He ordered them to put wax in their own ears so they couldn't hear the song. And he gave a specific order. No matter how much I scream, no matter how much I beg you to untie me, do not let me go. They sailed past. The sirens sang. Odysseus went crazy. He screamed. He begged. He struggled against the ropes. But the ropes held. He survived not because he was strong, but because he was restrained. In trading, the market is the siren. The volatility is the song. It calls to you. Come on, jump in. Just one trade. You can make it back. You cannot trust yourself to resist the song. You must tie yourself to the mast. This is called hard constraint. A soft constraint is a rule in your head. I won't lose more than $500 today. A hard constraint is a rule in your reality. My broker shuts off my account automatically if I lose $500. If you struggle with discipline, you must stop trusting your mind and start trusting external tools. The daily loss limit. Most professional trading platforms allow you to set a max daily loss. Set it. Lock it with a password. Give the password to your wife or your friend. When you hit that loss, the platform locks you out. You will scream. You will beg. You will want a revenge trade. But you are tied to the mast. You cannot trade. And the next morning, when you wake up sober and your account is saved, you will thank the ropes. The position size blocker. Use a risk calculator that automatically inputs the lot size. Do not calculate it manually. Remove the option to type in 10 lots when you should be trading 1 lot. The physical environment. If you trade on your phone and make bad decisions there, delete the app. Tie yourself to the desk. If you overtrade when you are bored, get a timed lockbox for your mouse. This is not weakness. This is extreme intelligence. Acknowledging that your future self will be compromised and putting safeguards in place now is the hallmark of a professional. The amateur thinks, I need to be free to do whatever I want. The professional knows, total freedom is total chaos. I need restrictions to force me into profitability. Restraint is freedom. The rope around the mast was the only thing that allowed Odysseus to survive the journey. Now let's talk about the brain science. Why is it so hard to change? Why do we keep making the same mistakes even when we promise not to? It's because of neuroplasticity. Imagine your brain is a dense, overgrown jungle. Every time you take an action, you are hacking a path through that jungle with a machete. The first time you break a rule, let's say you move a stop loss, it feels difficult. You are hacking through thick vines. You feel guilty, but you do it. You hack the path. The second time you do it, the path is already there. The vines haven't grown back yet. It's easier to walk down. The 10th time you do it, you have trampled the dirt flat. It is now a clear, wide walking trail. The 100th time, it is a paved superhighway. Your brain loves efficiency. Electricity follows the path of least resistance. If you have spent 2 years revenge trading, you have built a literal superhighway in your physical brain that connects loss to add more size. When a loss happens, the electrical signal in your brain zooms down that highway at 200 miles per hour. You act before you can even think. Feels automatic. Feels like possession. This is why trying harder fails. You are trying to fight a superhighway with a vague thought. But here is the good news. The jungle grows back. If you stop walking down a path, the weeds return. The vines take over. The path disappears. Building unbreakable discipline is the process of letting the bad paths overgrow and cutting new paths. Every time you have the urge to break a rule, and you do not do it, you are putting up a road closed sign on the superhighway. It is painful. Your brain wants to go down the easy road, but you force it to take the new, difficult path. Take the loss and walk away. The first time you do this, it requires a massive machete. It is exhausting, but the second time, the new path is clearer. And the old path, revenge trading, gets a little bit weedier. You have to visualize this physical process. When you are sitting there, sweating, wanting to enter a bad trade, tell yourself, if I click this button, I am paving the road to hell. I am making it easier to fail tomorrow. If I stand up and walk away, I am hacking a new road to freedom. Even if you take a bad trade and win money, you have lost. Why? Because you reinforced the bad path. You poured concrete on the highway to failure. You taught your brain that bad rule equals reward. That is brain damage. A losing trade that followed the rules is a victory for your neural pathways. You strengthened the discipline muscle. You are not just trading the market. You are terraforming your own mind. Every rep counts. The final piece of the structure is binary execution. We want to eliminate the gray area. The gray area is where discipline dies. Well, the setup isn't perfect, but it's close. The volume is a bit low, but the trend is strong. This nuance is dangerous for a struggling trader. Nuance requires willpower. It requires a doorman to make a judgment call. And remember, the doorman, your brain, can be bribed by greed. We want a firewall. A computer firewall works on simple code. If packet matches signature X, let in. If not, block. It doesn't think. It doesn't say, well, this virus looks kind of friendly. It blocks. Zero emotion. Binary. 1 or 0. Your trading plan must be converted into firewall code. Instead of saying, I'll buy when the trend is bullish. Too vague. Too much gray area. Say, I buy if and only if price is above the 200 EMA. RSI is below 30. Candle closes as a hammer. This is a checklist. Does it meet condition 1? Yes. Condition 2? Yes. Condition 3? No. Result? Block. There is no thinking. There is no maybe. The firewall rejects the trade. You need to print this checklist out physically. Put it on your desk. Before you click buy, you must physically tick the boxes with a pen. Tick, tick, tick. If you cannot tick a box, you cannot click the mouse. This turns trading from an art, which is emotional, into a process, which is mechanical. Discipline becomes easy when it becomes automatic. When you use the firewall, you stop feeling the FOMO of missing a maybe trade. You say, it didn't pass the firewall. Not my problem. You detach your self-worth from the outcome. You are just the guy running the security software. We have built the dam. We have established the chain of command. We have signed the Ulysses Pact. We have cleared the jungle path. We have installed the firewall. But there is one final step. The most important one. The identity shift. You cannot act like a professional trader if you deep down believe you are a gambler. If your self-image is, I'm a degenerate, or I always blow accounts, or I have no discipline, then you will subconsciously sabotage yourself to match that identity. We act in accordance with who we believe we are. You have to kill the old you. You have to decide, right now, that the action junkie is dead. You are not a person who likes to trade. You are a risk manager. A risk manager doesn't get a thrill from gambling. A risk manager gets a thrill from compliance. He takes pride in the fact that the market tried to seduce him and he didn't flinch. Discipline is often seen as a punishment. I have to be disciplined, so I can't have fun. That is the wrong frame. Discipline is self-love. Discipline is you loving your future self enough to protect him. When you adhere to a stop-loss, you are saying to your future self, I love you too much to wipe out our savings. I will take this small pain now so you don't have to feel the big pain later. When you walk away from the charts, you are saying, I respect my mental health more than I need this dopamine hit. Unbreakable discipline is the highest form of self-respect. It is the bridge between who you are, the struggling amateur, and who you want to be, the wealthy professional. You have to cross that bridge. And once you cross it, you have to burn it behind you. There is no going back to the chaos. The chaos is comfortable, but it is deadly. The structure feels restrictive, but it is the only place where freedom lives. So build your dam. Tie yourself to the mast. Trust the general. And watch as the impossible becomes routine.